like to start off tonight by sharing a quote by a great artist of our time. I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Lizzo, thank you. But what does it mean to be 100% me, Simmone Park? Now, to answer that question, I had to go deep into who am I? Oh, and make sure the phone goes off. Yeah, does somebody want to check their phone? Okay, we'll just deal with the phone. Now, if I'm being honest with myself, for the longest time, I didn't know who I was. I used to base my idea of self and my identity around my ethnicity, around who my parents were and who my parents wanted me to be. So ethnically, I thought I was Korean, but not just Korean. I'm talking one parent from North Korea, one parent from South Korea, like the whole peninsula Korean. Yeah. My parents met in Koreatown, Bloor and Christie, obviously. So ethnically, I was extremely Korean, but if I'm being honest, culturally, Tiffany, the Gangnam Style girl, was way more Korean than I ever was. Yeah. Because here's the thing. I was born in Toronto and raised in Scarborough. Yeah. So I tried very hard to be the good Korean girl that my parents wanted me to be. That meant that I had to be respectful, I had to play the piano and the violin, and of course, I had to be good at math. Because you know what they say, right? Once you go Asian, you'll never miss the equation. But a part of me deep down inside really wanted to fulfill my obligation to the streets. Scarborough, what? So I can say with absolute certainty that you can fit exactly 3 1/4 pounds of weed in one violin case. And guess who eventually upgraded to cello? Yeah, I'm so Scarborough. 4 years ago, I found myself in Long Beach, California, the LBC, where original gangsters like Snoop Dogg, Warren G, yeah, the real deal. And one night, a man will try to rob me at gunpoint. And I beat him up and snatched his chain. Well, you know what they say, right? You can take the girl out of Scarborough, but you can't take the Scarborough out of the girl. So I grew up thinking that I'm very Korean and then also very Canadian. And I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm also part Japanese. And I didn't know what that meant, so I started Googling and Googling and Googling. I went deep down this rabbit hole. And a few hours later, I came out of it and realized that in 1910, Japan annexed Korea. And for 35 years, Japan occupied Korea. So what does that mean? That means that I'm likely part Japanese due to rape. Yeah, there's one person who found rape funny. You're a very special person, okay? So honestly, guys, there's nothing left for me to do except this. What? It's not appropriation anymore, okay? This is part of who I am. And it's not like I'm trying to Kim Kardashian it and turn this into an underwear brand, kimono. Look, for my parents, the whole deal with Japan was just too quick. It was too raw. Like, they actually lived through this. So I can understand why they may feel a certain way against Japan. But for me, if I am who my parents were, that means that I was supposed to hate a part of me. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I've spent most of my life not loving myself. And I refuse to do that for even one more second. So I choose to love the Japanese parts of me, the Korean parts of me, the Canadian parts of me, all the parts of me, the good, bad, and the ugly. And it kind of makes sense, really, that I would be part Japanese. Like, one time, I went like a whole year without doing any maintenance down there at all. You know, like no waxing, no shaving, no nothing. And a year later, my bush looked more like a bonsai tree. No, too far? All right. It's just like, boop, there, she's perfect. And I've been to Japan. There are parts of the Japanese culture that are so cool. I'm happy to figure out and embrace this new part of me. And if we're being honest with ourselves, raping and pillaging was kind of a part of all of our DNA, wasn't it? Like Genghis Khan, I mean, every single person in this room probably has a little bit of Khan in them. I mean, Genghis done conned his way into many a womb, if you will, no? Come on, am I stating facts, or it's just the truth? So I started researching more about this new part of me, Japan, and there was something I found very interesting. In Japan, they have a saying that we have 3 masks that we wear. Now, the first mask is the one that you show to the world. I would assume that would be your social media. That's your highlight reel, your stories. Now, the second mask is the one that you show to your closest friends and family. Then you start to peel back some of the layers, expose a little bit more of who you truly are. Now, the Japanese say that the third mask, which is the truest reflection of who you are, is the one we never show to anyone. Now, today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done with that. I'm here to show all of me. Okay, not the bonsai, but because I'm sick and tired of wearing these masks. I refuse to wear a mask ever again. Okay, let me retract that. Maybe the Korean beauty masks, because those are awesome. But none of this fake stuff anymore, okay? So here is the real Simmone. I mean, people get to see that I'm traveling all over the world and I'm performing on stages with incredible people. But the reality, let's see, I'm technically homeless. Yes, I have friends who love me and I go to these places and I have places to stay, but I don't own a home. I have no fixed address. I'm technically not broke. I'm not in debt, but I haven't really been making serious money in the past 5 years since I've been on this journey to find out who I am and what I love. And I've been single for the past 5 years because I used to think that I needed someone to complete me. No. Now that I'm 100% in and of myself, I don't need anybody at all, actually. Well, what I'm excited about is having this land that I envision for myself. I know I'm going to get that soon. And welcoming in abundance back into my life, because I know that money won't turn me into this crazy bitch that I used to be in my 20s, totally unrelated. And I'm excited to meet somebody who's going to love me just as I am, and who's going to constantly push me to be the best version of myself, no matter what. Thank you. I want to find somebody who has a big, beautiful brain. So I am excited to rewrite these stories for myself. Now, you guys are probably wondering, self is the new ish. What does that even mean? Well, I used to be self-ish. I kind of knew myself. And selfish, I actually have a definition. It's a concern for one's own welfare and advantage at the expense or in disregard of others. Now, if we remove the at the expense or disregard of one another, I think that we can all stand to be a little bit more selfish and take the time to figure out who we are and what we love. So I've made a new definition of self. It's someone experiencing love fully, or someone experiencing life fearlessly. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is self, and self is newish. Thank you guys so much. I'm Simmone Park.